Hey, good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a wonderful week. We've got an exciting live stream for you guys tonight. Thanks to Ben and who else sent me samples? Shoot, I can't remember who else sent me a sample. But we're gonna do kind of like we're gonna do some bourbon battles tonight because I have so many good samples. The first one we're gonna do is Old Forester 1924 versus Early Times Bottled and Bond. I want to taste those two because I've heard rumors that the mash bill for 1924. Oh, I know who sent me 1924. Power of Bourbon, TJ with Power of Bourbon. So thank you, TJ, because I had an opportunity to buy that bottle, but at 119 or 129, whatever it was, I just wasn't willing to pull the trigger. But I'm interested to taste it for you guys tonight. And we're going to taste that against Early Times Bottled and Bond. Since I heard it's the same mash bill, we will see how close they are. We're going to do those blind. I'll mix those up. We are going to do Stagg 23A versus 23B. As you guys know, 23B was, I think I'm in the minority, but 23B was one of my favorite pours from last year. I get why people don't like that. It is a little medicinal cherry, but it reminds me of old dusty bourbon, and it's so off profile from Stagg Jr. that I absolutely love it. Thank you guys for saying hey. Let me know what you're drinking. I'm going to say hey to you in the chat in just a second. And then what's the other one we're doing? We're doing the Hardins Creek. Ben sent me Jacobs Well, the 211. Which the name annoys me and probably more than it should because it's 211 months. Can we just say 17 and a half years? I mean, I've got some friends who they've got kids that are like 13 and they still say like, John is 13.1 or 13.2, drives me crazy, or they do it in the months or whatever. So that's 17 and a half years. We're going to taste against my favorite Hardins Creek, which was Claremont. So we got some good bourbon battles tonight. Let me see who's in here tonight. Brian Rasky, what's up, man? Thanks for having this tonight. Better than watching the State of the Union. Oh, it's the State of the Union address on. Yeah. It's just going to be a lot of babbling, I'm sure. Cheers to you, Brian. Congrats to Purdue on their Big Ten championship. Man, they're tough to beat. They are tough. They are really good. If they're hitting threes, if their guards are hitting threes, man, I think they're unstoppable this year. Let's see. Robert Shea, what's up, buddy? Cheers. Corey, what's up, Corey? You know what? I need to do a warm-up because I've had this. I don't know if you guys have had the upper respiratory thing that's going around, but good Lord, man, this thing, I'm on like day 20, and every day I feel like I'm getting better and it just doesn't go away. So I have not been drinking much at all. I haven't had a drink since probably last Thursday. It may have been a week. So I'm going to warm up with a little thing today. We're going to do Holiday Soft Red Wheat Bottled and Bond. Always forget this is a screw top. So just a little bit, just to warm up the palate here. It's a pretty good bottle. Nothing special, but decent from we're trying to get a Ben Holiday pick for Barrels for Hope. So we'll see. Cheers, everybody. Let's see. I wanted to tell you guys, next Friday, Ed Sturger's coming into town. We're going to do our second Recliner Chronicles. So we'll have the set a little bit different, and Ed and I will be tasting. I think we might do an Irish whiskey flight. I think he's going to bring that. I don't know how exciting that'll be, but with St. Patty's Day coming up, it should be fun. It's always fun when Ed comes to town. So that'll be fun. That's next Friday. So probably won't have a live stream Thursday. We'll have a live stream on Friday. Picks I'm going on, I've got coming up on in March 29th. We're going to Lexington, Kentucky, and we're doing a dark arts pick for Barrels for Hope. I'm super excited about that. On April 12th, we're doing a Four Roses pick for Barrels for Hope. On May 20th, we're doing a Jack Daniel's barrel proof pick for A1. I don't know if he's told anybody that. So for those of you that are local to A1, you kind of just got the inside scoop there. June, I'm thinking June, Elijah Craig barrel proof pick. And that's for Barrels for Hope. And then in July is our Barrels for Hope year-end event, which we've got Fred Minnick coming in. Jason C. with Mash and Drum is going to MC that. We've got an event at Bourbon Pursuit. We're doing a barrel pick at Starlight with about 100 people. Man, we have got a ton of cool things going on. And I've got something every month coming up. So, Robert Shea says, I'm drinking some Barrel Vantage at the moment. That's good stuff, man. That's really good. I haven't had that in a while, but every time I taste it, I'm like, man, why don't I have that more often? Robert Shea said the Hardins Creek 211 is so darn good. It is. It really is. I'm interested to see blind what wins between that and the Claremont. Earl's in the house. Cheers. Drinking Hard Truth Old Fashioned. Oh, there you go. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. Big Wins in the house. Cheers. Brian, did you have to put an insurance claim for State Farm Center after? No, I think everybody was fine. Everybody was fine. Man, that hurt though. We needed a good like elite quad one win, and man, we had you guys on the ropes till I don't know why we started doubling Edie more and just giving you guys threes. It seemed like, and you guys made us pay big time. So, Robert said very excited for the Dark Arts pick. Me too, man. Me too. Especially after some of the stuff I've had from them. It's really good. A Ben Holiday is really good, man. Soft red wheat, bottled and bond. I think this one is, let's see, 6 years old. I always say it tastes like Cracker Jacks to me, man. It's really good. I've seen some reviews. People didn't like it. I don't know what they don't like about it. I think it's really good stuff. It doesn't have any of the craftiness you might expect from a younger distillery. Just really good bourbon. Let's see. Hope Ed's bringing you the Spot whiskey lineup. Yeah, that'd be cool. I think I've had all of them. I think I've had all of them. I'm not sure. They're all fantastic. There's just not, for me, I don't know, man. There's not much differentiation between a lot of Irish whiskeys. Just give me Redbreast Cask Strength and I'm fine. I don't need any other. Maybe I haven't had enough, but I don't know that I need any other Irish whiskeys. Redbreast Cask Strength is just good enough for me, man. I don't long for a bunch of different things. There's just not enough variance, I feel, but that could just be me. All right. We're going to be on here about an hour tonight, guys. So since I've got my warm up in, let's get started here. What's Corey say? I need to try that Hard Truth Old Fashioned. Man, Hard Truth Old Fashions are fantastic. Okay, guys. So let me grab a few things here. Show you what we got. All right, I'm gonna switch cameras here. Let me, just so everybody tuning in knows what we're doing here. All right. This is our first bourbon battle tonight. We got Old Forester 1924 versus Early Times. and this early times is it's the older one. So I don't have one of the newer ones. So um, the Old Forester 1920 is going to be the A. See, switch those up. So we got the A glass there. And then let's get B. Make sure those are about the same. So I don't want to be able to tell the difference. I use a little bit. Okay. All right. I'm going to switch these up. Promise, I do not know which is which. I don't know if you guys will know which is which. I'm going to keep switching them up so I can't tell. Let's see. Terry says, "What's the scoop on dark arts? Do they source or distill on their own?" So Terry, dark arts was started by Macaulay. I think his last name's Dixon. Macaulay Dixon. He used to curate the barrel picks for Wilderness Trail. So he worked at Wilderness Trail for years. Um, really smart guy, has his master's degree, very eccentric. I mean, if you go to their Instagram page, you'll see he's like wears, I don't know, he dresses like a rock star might. He just wears stuff that doesn't look like it goes together, but somehow it does. I don't know how else to describe him. I met him on a Wilderness Trail pick, and he accidentally microdosed one of the guys that was with us, if that tells you anything about him. So great guy, really interesting guy, smart guy. So they source from, I think, at least from MGP, and then they're doing crazy finishing on stuff. I've had one of theirs that was finished in white port. It was really fantastic. I loved it. They're doing a lot of crazy things. They're finishing in things that I've never even heard of. So I think sometimes they'll even let you like blend two barrels. So I don't know what we're going to be able to do when we get there, but I'm sure it's going to be a crazy pick for Barrels for Hope. So it should be pretty exciting. Okay, guys, I've switched these around. I have no idea which is which. So, Robert Shea, I have not had the 1924 yet. Big fan of Old Forester, but not that price point. Yeah, I agree. That's why, I didn't buy it. I could have got two bottles, and I was like, man, at that price point for 10-year juice at 100 proof, man, I just don't know. So, all right, we're gonna smell these first. Oh man, one smells dark, rich, brown sugar. One smells absolutely fantastic. Two smells very similar. I don't know where I heard that the 1924 was the same mash bill as early times, but heard that somewhere. And man, they smell very similar. I will say off of the first nosing, glass two smells a little bit younger to me than glass one, but they both smell really good. No problems with either of them. There is that like very deep brown sugar, dark brown sugar on both of these, with a little bit of like red fruit in there. So, all right, last one. Cheers, guys. Yeah, brown sugar on the palate, a little bit of light banana bread, not very complex, super crushable. I mean, both of these are going to be crushable. So, class two, man, those taste alike. So I'll tell you right away, like, even if I stop the review right now, I will tell you that one of these bottles cost me $25. The other bottle is 129. There is not enough difference in those two for that price point difference. Are they both absolutely delicious? Yes. I think Early Times is actually underpriced. Early Times is I mean, if you get a good bottle of it, it's easily a $60 bourbon. It's fantastic. I think both of these are about a $60 bourbon. So, um, what's crazy is I'm not confident on which is which. So, if that tells you anything. Now, would I drink both of these every night and be happy? Yeah, I would. Both of these are really good. So, all right, going to glass 2 again. Man, they're similar. Bear Doyle. Storytime Distillery is a scam and Ponzi scheme. I don't know anything about it, Bear. So, somebody say something about Storytime? I don't know. Mm. Yeah, glass 1 is gonna take this for me. Just a little bit darker and richer, has a longer finish. Um, it's gonna be funny if that's Early Times. But I'll tell you guys, the palates on both of those are really, really close. It's really kinda crazy how close they are. Um, so yeah, Bear, you'll have to explain more if you're gonna call someone out. I don't know much about it, so I don't know what you're talking about. Earl, 1924 is breaking my heart. Just give us 10 proof points more. Yeah. When I tried 1924 on its own when I knew, what I was drinking. Um and my first thoughts were I absolutely loved it. It was really sweet, but not very complex and just probably not worth the price point, but it's good. Nothing wrong with it. Just too expensive, which is why I didn't buy 2 bottles that I could have. I think 2 glass 2 is a little bit more of those banana notes than glass 1. Yeah, glass 1 has a little bit more red berry. Glass 2, a little bit more banana on the banana side. Both fantastic pours. The finish on glass 1 is a little bit longer, a little bit darker to me. So my winner for this first battle is going to be glass 1, whatever it is. So let's see what we've got. I could not tell you guys. So the better one is glass A, and A is 1924. So, yeah, I mean, if I had to have guessed, that's what I would have guessed I was drinking. So you can tell it is a little bit darker. The finish is definitely longer. Um, I bet you I bet you 50% of people could not tell those 2 glasses apart. They taste so similar. They taste really similar. There's just that Early Times is a little more bit more banana forward, and I think some of those banana notes come on a little bit younger Brown Forman whiskey. Um, but man, those old Early Times bottles are just fantastic. What a good whiskey, man. For 20 bucks, I mean, I don't need to buy 1924. It's really good. It's just too much. Yeah, that's gotta be the same mash bill, guys. It tastes so similar, just with more age. That's a fun blind. You guys should do that if you have both of those. Do those, see if you can tell the difference. The finish on that, like, what was that, my 5th sip of the 2? The finish on 1924 is a lot longer than on the Early Times now. Alright, just gonna blend those up. Rinse these out. Bear with me, guys. We will move on to our second one. It was a fun little challenge. I didn't expect them to taste that close. All right. Who you guys got for national champion for basketball? I don't know who I've got yet. All right, moving on to our next bourbon battle. Moving up in proof, we are at 100 proof with a 1924 and the early times bottled in bond. Again, 1924, good bottle, not worth the price. Okay. This one should be interesting. So we're going to make, let's see, we'll make A, the Claremont, and B, the Jacobs Well. So B and A. All right. So we got B for Jacobs Well and glass B. I will say, the Claremont. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think the price on that was $279. I'm sorry, not on the Claremont, on the Hardins Creek 211, the Jacobs Well. Which that's bourbon's getting up there, guys. Getting up there. Okay. But both of these pours are absolutely amazing. So let's see. All right, we got A and B here. Mix them up. You guys have any guesses? What's going to win? Let's see. So Corey said, I just picked up Early Times plastic cap a couple months ago for over my metal top. Yeah, I think like I know Stuff and Whiskey and Bourbon Junkies. I don't know that it really. It used to be thought that the old plastic tops were better, but they've had some metal tops that are really good. So I think there's just batch inconsistency. But anytime I see an Early Times bottle and bond, I'm grabbing it because you might just get a fantastic bottle and they're so cheap. So he said, "What kind of floor do you have shaking out a Glen?" It's just water. I rinsed it out with water. It's fine. It doesn't do anything. Puts a little whiskey aroma in the air. John Russell said Tar Heels for the W. Tar Heels are good, man. I don't think they got it though. Let's see. Jesse says, I've tried some really nice bourbons, but OGD 114 is probably top 3 for me. Really? Wow. You must love the peanut notes, man. OGD 114 is good. Especially for the price. It's great value, but I don't know that I would say it's one of my top 3. And if I'm not mistaken, both of those are aged at Claremont. Oh, that could be. I have no idea on the Jacobs Well. Jacobs Well 109 proof. Is Claremont 109 as well? Maybe 110. So I mean they're basically the same proof. So all right. Glass 1, glass 2. Let's smell these first. Oh man, both of these are so beautiful. They smell very identical as well. Just like Such rich caramel nuttiness, but not like overwhelming, like Booker's nuttiness, not that bad. It's just like a nice touch of it. There's red fruits in here. I like Rickhouse dusty floor that you kinda get in some older stuff is in there. I mean, I would call this a draw on the nose. They're both really, really nice. One might smell I might give the edge to glass 1 on the nose, um, just because it's a little bit more if you could smell texture, it almost is a little bit more buttery. There's something about the nose on glass 1 that's just really, really man, they're both really good. Both really good. Alright, let's go into the taste. Cheers, everybody. Glass 1. Mm. Oh, man, that's so good. Yeah, that's like burnt buttered caramel, a little bit of red fruit, has a little bit of like, um, it has like the finish is from not from the proof, but from the rye. It's really nice. It's really nice. It's not burning at all at that 109 or 110 proof. Very crushable at that. For the age, it's not too drying on the back end of the palate. It's like I think if it's aged anymore, it would be. It would start to dry out the back of your palate, but man, that first sip was really, really nice on glass 1. Mm. Very reminiscent of some of the best Bookers you've had, but at a lower proof, and that's, for me, one of the problems with Bookers is usually they're too peanut forward and they just kick me around the room too much. This is like solves all those problems. It's just really, really nice. But if you like Bookers, man, you gotta get these Hardins Creeks because 'cause they're so fantastic. Alright, glass 1, really good. Let's go to glass 2. Mm, very similar. Glass 2, very similar. I'm gonna drink glass 2 first and then glass 1 because glass 2 on the finish just got a little bitter for me. There's a little bit of bitterness there that, it had everything glass 1 had, just with the finish was a little bit bitter. I mean, these are, again, like the first round, these are very, very similar pours. I doubt many people could taste too many differences in the 2. Terry said Duke. Oh, Duke is a good call, man. I might I mean, Purdue's definitely gonna be in my Final 4. I might have to put Duke in my Final 4. Tennessee looks really good. Uh, I mean, UConn, of course, Tar Heels. There's it's gonna be a crazy tournament. I can't wait. So it'll be fun when Ed's here for the Recliner Chronicles. It'll be the Big Ten tournament as well, so that'll be fun. All right, I'm glass 2 first here. Mm, man, that's so good. Glass 2 has that dark cherry note. I did not get bitterness on that time. What I did get was that dark cherry note, that I get in a lot of aged stuff, a lot of aged, Knob Creeks. I get that, like, dark black cherry that almost goes to medicinal, but not quite. It's there, but not quite, and I love that note. So, um, mm, dark cherry, that was fantastic. Alright, last one. Mm. Glass one has that dark cherry note, that glass one has, or glass two had, but it does have a little bit more nuttiness than glass two. So I'm gonna do this one more time. I'm gonna go glass one, glass two, glass two, glass one. Just one more time. I think the finish on glass one is longer, but I think I like glass two a little bit better because it's not as nutty. Now, if you really prefer those more like Booker's kind of notes, I think you would prefer glass one to glass two. Um, because it's reminding me a little bit more of Booker's than Glass 2 is. Glass 2 is reminding me more of like the old, 16-year Knob Creeks that you used to get. So, all right, Glass 1. I mean, that tastes like a really good Knob Creek too. Mm. It's funny how when you taste these back to back, how one can change the flavor of the other. Makes it hard. I mean, you can't go wrong with either of these. They're both. I mean, we're splitting hairs. We really are. And this is one of those. I'm gonna hedge and say this is one of those on any given night I could pick the other one probably. The finish on glass one though, that's why I haven't taken another drink. It's just long. Let's see. Jesse said metal top is a sink pour. You may have just got a bad metal top because there's been some metal tops that are fantastic. Brian Rasky, boiler up, have to go with Purdue and hope they don't. I think that's who, Brian, honestly, I think that's who I'm picking um, to win it all. The thing is, you just don't know. The thing with Purdue is you don't know how the refs are going to call it, man. Are they just going to be blowing the whistle constantly on Edie? Big Ten refs are different than conference or tournament refs. So I don't know. Jesse said, "Did you already do the Stagg and 1924?" I did 1924 and early times bottled and bond. 1924 won, but 1924 was very similar to early times. I had heard those mash bills were the same. I think 50% of people wouldn't be able to honestly probably taste the difference. So 1924 is good, not very complex and overpriced, which is kind of what we thought. So Marty's in the house. Everyone hit that thumbs up. Yeah, hit the like button, guys, and go Vols. Man, I think the Vols have a good shot. They're physical. They're good. What's that guy's name? Connect or whatever. He's a beast, man. Vols will take the title. I think they got a good shot, Jacob. I really do. All right, glass two. Mm. Glass two. Oh my gosh. Glass two, stronger cherry, not as much peanut. Man, these each have strengths, guys. They really do. I'm gonna take one more drink of two and one before I decide. And I think two is a little bit more drying on the back of the palate. It's making me wonder if that's the older one or not. Um, John Russell, we all know how Duke and Purdue perform in the dance. That's what makes me really scared to pull the trigger on Purdue, man. Because I mean they've sucked as bad as my Illini in the tournament. So, but last year, even though they lost to a 16 seed, they had young guards, and this year, man, Lance Jones from SIU upgrade, which I didn't think he would be that much of an upgrade, but he is. Braden Smith is a killer, man. He hit a three on us. It just like sucked the wind out of the stadium. It was man. And he's a little killer. I like him though. All right, I'm going two, then one last time. Man, that's good. Corey says, "Love me some dark cherry." You love some dark cherry, man. Whatever's in glass two is it. I love me some dark cherry too. Jesse said it's so hot for 100 proof. I think you're still talking about early times bottle and bond. You must have just got a bad bottle, man. Um, the early times bottle and bond I have is crushable. It's not hot. I would never call that hot. Um, you might have just got one of those bad bottles, which there's variance from batch to batch. So, all right, glass one. Yeah, so this is very close, guys, and I'm splitting hairs. Um, the finish is definitely longer on glass one, and the nose wins on glass one. But what I prefer for my palate to sit down and drink every night is glass two. Um, it's just really, really well-rounded, balanced, crushable, has that beautiful dark cherry note in it. Um, so I don't know if most people would go with my pick here, but glass two is my winner of the two. So let's see what we got. Glass two, which is this one, is B, which is the Jacobs Well 211 is my favorite, and it beats the Claremont for me, which is surprising. I'm really surprised by that. Wow. Wow. I did say glass 2 was a little bit more drying on the back of the palate, so that makes sense as to why it's the older one by, 6 months or whatever. Um but man, those are beautiful. So, I tell you what, I'm just gonna blend those, and we're gonna put that aside because damn, that was good. Let me get some water, rinse these out. Jacobs Well 211. So up until that time, Claremont was my favorite Hardins Creek. So now Jacobs Well is my favorite. Huge shout out to Ben for sending me that sample. Thank you so much, man. Beautiful, beautiful pours. That's and that's as good as whiskey gets right there. I don't know why those Hardins Creek at A1 lottery, man. I was picked way in the back of that lottery, and all the Hardins Creeks were still there. Blew my mind. So that's the only reason I got this because of lottery. All right. Mike, I see you. What's up, Mike? Now I got to crack mine. Glad I went. Yeah, dude. Jacobs Well was the right call. I mean, like I said, we're splitting hairs. They're both fantastic. And like I said, on any given day, I could have picked the other one. But man, Jacob's Well just has those darker cherry notes. It's really well rounded, a little bit less peanutty, and just a beautiful Jim Beam expression. Again, tastes like those old Knob Creek 15, 16-year Knob Creek picks you used to be able to get. All right. You get caught up here in the chat. Terry says, I agree on Purdue. Painter gets out coached all the time. That's what people say about our coach too. Jesse, I bought a bottle to share with a friend and let him have it after trying it. Whiskey Nose, the 211 fell a little short for me on the palate viscosity for that age statement. What? Crazy, Marty. That's good stuff, man. That is good stuff. Now, you want to argue whether it's worth $279. That's I can hear you out there, but there's nothing wrong with that bourbon. That bourbon is fantastic. All right, guys, we are, let's see here, on to our third battle. Stagg 23A and 23B. Now, I'll tell you guys, think I'm in the minority on 23B. It got a lot of bad reviews. The bourbon junkies hated it. And I think it got a lot of bad reviews because it has this medicinal cherry note in it that reminds me, I've said it a million times, but it reminds me of old dusty bourbons from like the 70s, but at a higher proof. Um, I think it's so special. I think a lot of people are missing why it's so special, unless you just don't like that medicinal cherry note, which some people don't. The Wild Turkey 17-year bottled and bond from a few years ago had it in spades. This Stagg, it's just very off profile for Stagg. I'm guessing I'm going to be able to tell you which one's 23B and which one's 23A. But I'm really excited to taste them side by side and see what we get, because you just never know. So make sure we got all the water out of there and switch here. Take this off. All right, guys. So we got glass A, and we got glass A. We got 23A and A. I do not remember the proof on 23A. 23B, as you guys can see, man, this is about as fast as I've gone through a Stagg. Okay. All right, let me mix these up and get through these comments. Hey, I see Top Dog in the house. Michael, when you crack yours, let me know what you think, man. It is so good. All right. Top Dog, what's up, dude? Cheers, cheers. I guess whiskey doesn't know. Hey, nobody's wrong in the whiskey game. It's whatever your palate prefers, I guess. But I love those Hardins Creek picks. All right. Okay, John says 132 or 130.2 for 23A, and 23B is 127.8. So pretty close. All right. So glass one here. Shoot. Hold on. Need my pencil. Okay. Nose on both of these, quintessential Stagg. You got your deep, rich brown sugar, kind of dark cherry again, cola, all those. I mean, the nose on glass one, I just caught it, has a little bit more grain and a little bit more of that like dusty rickhouse. I caught it on just the back end. But man, very, very, very similar noses on glass one and glass two. All these have been, and that's why I put them in bourbon flights. Bourbon battles tonight, because I thought they'd be pretty close. So, all right, glass one. Goodness. I'll tell you, that drink's below its proof. It tasted dusty to me. I'm trying not to pick out which is which, but man, if that's glass B, it is so off profile from Stagg Jr. It's kind of hard not to know. Okay. Glass two. Okay. Glass two. I'm pretty positive I know what these are. Glass two, definitely more grain forward than glass one, but really good. Has those cherry cola notes, very well rounded. Um, doesn't for if that's 23A for the 130.2 proof, it is really drinkable. Um, doesn't kill you, doesn't kick you around the room at all. Let me go back to class 1 here. Oh my gosh. That has gotta be 23B. I would bet my house on it. Um, it just it's so easy to pick it out because it tastes dusty. It tastes like an old bourbon from the '70s. And not that the thing that's wonderful about it is not that some of those old dusty notes are good. It's just vintage and you know it's special. It reminds you of a special time and place, especially if you've ever drank dusty bourbon with friends, and a special occasion. And this reminds me of that, which is why it's so good and so special. I think a lot of people are going to pick that note up and almost think it's like I don't know if Scotch tape is the right word or Sharpie or medicinal cherry, and they're not going to like it. I think a lot of people are not going to like 23B, but um, I would say you're missing the beauty of it. It's really, really good, and I'd be so curious to know when they blended that batch, if whoever's in charge of blending the batch loved it because it reminded him of vintage bourbon, because that's what it reminds me of. It is so good. I'm in love with it. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with it. Okay, let me taste 20 there. I'm sorry. Let me taste class 2 again. And I haven't been looking at the camera when I drink because I don't want to see the bottom of the glass. So, yeah, 23A has those cherry cola notes. It's just younger, more grain forward, a little bit more corn. You can taste the corn in it a little bit more. Still wonderful, but just not up to par with 23B. It definitely 23A is a little bit more stringent as well, burns a little bit more. 23B is just special. If you don't like your 23B, send them to me, man. I would trade 23A for 23B all day long. Um, I shouldn't say that because I don't know what these are. So, all right. My favorite was this one right here, which is B. Yeah. How funny would that have been if I was wrong? I was so confident in that. 23B is so good. Oh man. I got some other pours here tonight. What time is it? We got about 12 minutes. So I'm gonna taste I have Old Fitz 13 from spring of 2019 that was sent in from Ben, but I also have, which I want to taste, a Willet 10-year purple top, 127.8 proof. I think I'll probably taste that as the last pour tonight. The Old Fitz 13 probably not going to hold up very well after having 230 proof stags. But so, have you guys had Stagg 23A, 23B? I'd especially be want to know what you guys think about 23B because I haven't heard anyone say what I'm saying about 23B. I haven't heard anything good about 23B. I think I'm the only person on the planet who loves it. Um. Oh yeah, that was Corey. Corey, I'm sorry. You gave me that sample. Thank you, man. Um. Corey also got me some Wild Turkey 12 year. So you guys haven't had that bottle. Whew. Um. Jesse said, "What are some affordable, obtainable, higher proof bourbons over 120 proof?" Well, I mean, I kind of be worried, Jesse, if you thought early times bottled and bond was hot. I mean, the easy answer is um I say easy and now I'm having a brain fart. Shit. What's the name of it? God bless it. I'm on too much cold medicine, guys. If you wouldn't have asked me. I'm gonna laugh when I search this. What's the cheap God dang it, what's the cheap Buffalo Trace? They have top floor, um, God dang it, what is it called? Why can't I think of it? I'm having the worst brain fart I've ever had. I might be having a stroke, guys. Somebody help me in chat. It's like 25 bucks. Benchmark. Thank you, Earl. Jesus. Benchmark. Benchmark foolproof is what I would go with, especially if you've if you've never had Stagg or some of these other ones. Go benchmark foolproof. If you go to Kentucky, you can find it all day down there. It's on every shelf. Um, but yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, that hurt my brain. Okay, let me get back up here. David's in the house. What's up, David? Cheers, buddy. Michael Edwards. I wish I could remember which was my favorite whiskey mash. I do remember they were third on my list behind Heaven Hill 17 and Cellar Age. Yeah, man, Heaven Hill 17 still one of my favorite pours of all time. Maker's Cellar Age was great. Yeah, the Hardins Creeks were I do know I liked they only had Claremont and Frankfurt at Whiskey Mash. They didn't have Boston. But I've had Boston. I liked Claremont and Frankfurt better, but I haven't blinded those. But I think Claremont was my favorite. And then tonight, after having Jacobs Well, I think Jacobs Well is my favorite. But again, splitting hairs. They're all really, really good. Um, Terry said, "How did 20?" I don't have 23C, Terry, so I couldn't tell you. But I have from my palate, I have a hard time believing it's better than 23B. I just love it. Oh, you've only tasted 23C. Earl said he would recommend Smooth Ambler Cash Strength. Yeah, that's a good one. Their bourbons and ryes are fantastic. Yeah, good call, Earl. Let's see. Yeah. Hey, Susan's in the house. What's up, Susan? Cheers. Cheers. I was talking about the sample of Dark Arts you gave me. We're going on that pick on the 29th, so I'm super excited about it. Mm. Mm-mm. That is beautiful. All right. Let me see here. Sorry, guys. Want to make sure I don't get rid of that Hardins Creek blend because it was good. So next we're gonna try this 10-year Willet Purple Top that Ben sent me. And if you guys know me, I love some Willet Purple Top. I've got a Hirsch back there that is rumored to be Willet, and after tasting it, it is. That's like 138.8 proof, and oh my god, it's one of the best Willet barrels I've had. So here's what we've got. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that very much, but Willet 10-year Purple Top. Oh, that's the barrel number, 127.8 proof. So get into this. If you guys have any of that, feel free to pour it. And thank you guys for hanging out tonight. I might as well just pour all this. You guys fans of Willet Purple Top? Some people are, some people aren't. I don't ever want to pay for it, but that Hirsch barrel that was 138.8 proof was like $100 at A1, so it was fantastic. So good. Corey says Elijah Craig barrel proof or larceny barrel proof. Are you responding to Jesse or asking me? If I had to pick Elijah Craig Barrel Proof all day long for me. Um, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. It's like Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is one of the reasons why I've stopped buying a lot of bourbon, because I can get Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, and it's 12 years cash strength. It hits my palate just right, and it's $70. Just I don't know. It's kind of hard to justify spending hundreds of dollars on a bottle when Elijah Craig Barrel Proof and store picks of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof are just sitting on shelves. It's crazy. It's just kills everything, man. John Russell, Lance, do you ever find Benchmark Foolproof in Central Illinois? No, I don't. I go to, I do I do a barrel pick almost once a month. So, on barrel picks when we go to Kentucky, I mean it's in Kentucky everywhere. So I'm in Kentucky enough that I can get it there. That's the stuff, man. That's the stuff. Willet Purple Tops. It's like caramel, honeysuckle, which I never get in any other bourbon, and then like this beautiful, like floral grape note in Willet Purple Tops. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful, man. They're all good. They're all good. I wish they weren't so expensive. Oh, Brian, that's a great call out. Rare Breed. Yeah, so Rare Breed is a good one. 116 proof. That was I finally released our top 5 bourbons of 2023 today. Rare Breed was number 4, because I never put allocated stuff in as my bourbon of the year, just because I don't want to name something bourbon of the year if most people can't find it. I want to reward those things that are on the shelves and at a decent price. So value is a part of my scoring system, and I send my top 5 to our some patron members, and we do a live show and we taste them blind and we vote on them and decide what our bourbon of the year is. So it's not just up to me; it's kind of a crowdsourced vote, which is pretty cool. So Rare Breed came in at number 5. Number 4 was Barrel Batch 35. That's an $80 bottle, but a lot of people still sleeping on Barrel Craft Spirits, and their last few batches have been really good. 34 was good. 35 was fantastic. Then number 3 was Knob Creek 12. We're a little bit harder to find, and that's at 100 proof, but really good. 23B, Stagg 23B was my allocated bourbon of the year. And then our bourbon of the year was Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C923, $70, 12. Actually, that one was 13 years, 7 months. That was just impossible to beat. And I did find it at the on the shelf at A1 on their front counter. So it was able to be in my bourbon of the year. But Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is becoming harder and harder to find on the shelves. So I don't know how many more years that will be in our bourbon of the year running. So we'll see. But yeah, Corey said good call, Brian. That is a good call. Watch is blowing up. More good call outs. Maker's Cash Strength, Jack Daniel Single Barrel Proof, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, Wild Turkey Rare Breed. All great call outs. Trey, what's your best drink recommendation leading into the NCAA tourney for watching the Illini? Anything hazmat is what I'm leaning towards. Yeah, they're man, I don't know what to. They've got this is the best way I can put it. They've got national championship offense and first weekend exit defense. So who knows, man? I mean, these teams that are playing them are going to have to score 90 to beat us. Or I think we're number 1 in the country in offense efficiency since February. So, they can beat anybody, but I don't know. It's going to depend on the draw too. They get a team like Iowa State, who is like crazy good on defense. I don't know, man. But then they won't be able to score with us. So I don't know. I just hope we make it to the second weekend for Brad Underwood's sake because everybody's saying he can't coach, and they're saying the same thing about Matt Painter because Big Ten has such a hard time in the tournament. But I think a lot of that has to do with Big Ten tournament like butting up to the NCAA tournament. I mean, championship games played on Sunday, and they don't even really even take that into consideration for the selection committee because when they're voting and deciding who's playing, Big Ten still playing their tournament. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about the Illini. I just want to see their draw. I want to see their draw. A lot for me is gonna determine how they play against Iowa on Sunday because Iowa has everything to play for. Illinois has already locked up the number 2 seed for the tournament, so they really don't have anything to play for other than seeding. So I'll be interested to see if they come out and play with some grit or if they just roll over and let Iowa win. And that'll tell me a lot about how they're going to play in the tournament. Let's see. Corey says, I've yet to try a purple top. Corey, if you're over here next time, I think I have an Old Kirk, which is basically a purple top open that we can pour for you. They're so good, man. JH says a Willet weeded purple top was crazy. All grape soda. Yeah. I didn't like that as much as the other ones, but I thought it was a good pour. A lot of people shit on that bottle, but I didn't think it was that bad. I'm with you. I thought it was pretty good. Corey says upset Sunday in Iowa City. Go Hawks. I wouldn't be surprised, Corey. I wouldn't be surprised. They got more to play for. We'll see. Robert say Old Kirk, not Old Soul from the Advent calendar. Oh yeah. Yeah, right. Old Kirk. I had that in the Advent calendar. That was my favorite pour of the entire Advent calendar. That was a really good bottle. So yeah, Corey, when you come over, I think I sent you a text back, man. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I can do whatever, dude. You just let me know when you can come over. We'll make it work. I just can't do that last weekend in March because we'll be in Lexington at Dark Arts. So, all right, guys. So, 1924 beat Early Times Bottled and Bond, but it was a $129 bottle versus a $25 bottle. And for the difference, I would go Early Times Bottle and Bond all day long. I don't need to buy 1924. While good, not very complex, but it's really good, just not worth the price. But we all kind of knew that anyway. Going to the second one, I was really shocked. Jacobs Well 211 beat Claremont in the Hardins Creek battle. Both fantastic pours. I think on any given night, I could switch those, to be honest with you. I think most people would probably pick the Claremont just because it had a little bit more complexity. But Jacobs Well was just hitting right for me tonight. And then again, on the Stagg 23A versus 23B, I think I was in the minority. I think most people would pick 23A. I think most people will not like 23B. But I think if you've had Dusties in the past, if you've had those 1970s bourbons that taste a little funky and are around that 80 proof, this is like those, but on steroids at 127 proof. And it's so good and so reminiscent of that. It's just beautiful, drinks well below its proof. I really, really enjoy it. I think a lot of people miss what's special about 23B. Especially if they haven't had a lot of dusty bourbon, because it just brings me back to that. And a lot of special times I've had drinking dusty bourbon with friends. There's nothing like cracking a 1950s, 60s, 70s, even 80s, 90s bottle of bourbon with some friends. It's really special. So it reminds me of that. So that's why I love that bottle, man. It's one of my favorite Stags, and I think I'm in the minority. So Um, anyway, great bourbon battles tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're at an hour and 5 minutes. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing and doing all those things. If you want to help support the channel, you can always go to our Patreon, join for as little as $2 a month. If you want to do barrel picks, we have a couple open spots in Barrels for Hope right now. I think like 4 spots may be open in Barrels for Hope, but you get 6 picks a year in that. Our first one this year is going to be that Dark Arts pick, and we've got an Elijah Craig barrel proof pick that we're doing. And we don't know the other ones yet. So, lots of good stuff coming out. Our year-end event is in July. Fred Minnick will be there. Jason C. with Mash and Drums going to MC. We're going to Bourbon Pursuit, and then we're also doing a pick at Starlight for our year-end event. So lots of cool things. Super busy here on the bourbon front, but always happy to hop on a Thursday night, have fun. Make sure you guys set your calendars for next Friday. Ed will be here. We'll do the Recliner Chronicles. And as always, I'm sure we will have a great time busting each other's balls next Friday here at the Tornado Shelter. So, all right. Cheers, guys. Have a great week. Love you guys. Later.